Look who I've met. Anthony with a
Sergeant
really,
Anthony Lewis.
really badass car. What was your name again?
Sergeant Anthony Edward Lewis.
Sergeant Anthony
Army,
Edward. Oh,
retired and prior service Marine.
well, thank you so much for your service. Wow. Wow. Okay, so uh, Mina sticker. I figure you'll like this because look at all these stickers. So we're gonna start here and go all the way around before we go in. So if you trust the government, you don't know history. On the way here, I was listening to there's a podcast on YouTube called Parker Get a Job, and I like listening to Gen Z because it's their world we're messing up. So, and I also am encouraged by young, smart people. And so,
This is my latest.
here we go. When fascism comes to America, it will be wrapped in a flag and carrying a cross. Holy shit. Amen. Yes.
Hello, Sergeant Lewis.
Hey!
How are you?
Hi.
Whose car?
This is his.
Is your car, Sergeant Lewis?
I wanted to see all of his stickers.
Oh, look at you. I love you.
Good to see you.
Good to see you, too. How's your lovely wife?
She's good. Did you see the pictures?
I saw the wedding
Those
pictures.
who
Right.
can make you believe, oh boy, those who can make you believe absurdities can make you commit atrocities. That's what I was going to say. Everything he brought up, you can hear the MAGA brain
Yeah.
justification and the going in circles. And yet she cannot break
It's
out of
called
it.
Cognitive dissonance.
Yes, and it's like there's some kind of mind loop, and I'm sure it has a better name than that. But you get stuck at
Brainworm?
like a circular. Yeah, no shit, like a circular thought
Circular
that.
logic
Yes, and
has
you.
been
Yes,
studied. Books have been written.
I think that also it's that Trump has connected this to it being personal because what the lady ended up saying was, "Oh, I guess I'm just stupid." You have to have a way for people to come to truth without being made to feel stupid because he conned them.
Yes and no.
Yeah, different levels.
There's
Some of them are in it for the obvious reasons, and there's no understanding. What is it?
white fragility.
Fragility. Not specifically, but I can imagine what it is, and yeah, and I see it, and that's another reason I'm here. And I'm new to politics because being working class, like my husband and I we always have worked and we've done okay because we've managed to get a home on a couple acres, and so but it's a struggle all the time, and we're both still working, you know. And this American dream that they want to push is white Christian nationalism,
Right.
AKA the KKK. So I'm not for that. So I've been going to different protests. I went to Goshen, Elkhart, Valparaiso. I protest Scientology in Chicago. That's why I'm wearing my hat, because I figure I may as well get the message out. So I'm just kind of a mixed bag,
Yeah.
But I'm figuring it out. I'm finding a voice for the things that.
Welcome to the world of woke.
Well, I spent 15 years getting a 4-year bachelor's degree in behavioral science, so I'm pretty woke. I just didn't see how. I didn't understand politics.
Okay. Well, nobody's born here knowing this stuff.
Hell no. But I'm picking up on it pretty good.
Yeah. You probably learned that language is a key.
Yeah. It was very nice to meet you, Sergeant.
I know. I'm going to see you again. I got to get you my information.
Mac and cheese. Hey, did you see that very nice man I was talking to, Sergeant Anthony?
Right.
And he had a car full of stickers. So I wish I would have had my extra stickers with me. I could have given him one. So this is the Hope Center, and tonight is going to be the mayor of Michigan City. I believe that's who she is, the mayor of Michigan City, and State Representative Pat Boy, and I have no idea who that is. So yeah, we are going to see what they have to say. I go to mobilize.us and I sign up for as many things as I can. And hopefully no one will mind. Hi. You got a packet ready for me. You don't happen to have water, do you? Thank you. I got so dry out there.
Yeah.
Oh, good, good, good. All right. Hopefully a lot of people show up. I would really like that. Oh, I'll take the little one. So we're going to go up to the bleachers. It's not very full right now. I'm really, really hoping that more people show up. It was so cool to meet that man, that sergeant. You know what? Since people aren't really here yet, I'm going to take you back out there and show you his car and the cool graffiti on this building. It's weird how it just has that school smell, you know? All right. That man's very nice. Hello.
Hello. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
I'm glad that just made the noise.
Oh, your phone. Yeah. Silence them phones, huh? Okay, let's show you his sticker car. And next time I'm bringing my stickers because I'll help him sticker up his car with Mina's stickers. Hey, Charlie. Welcome. So here's this cool car with stickers. That's funny. Oh, in order to insult me, I must first value your opinion. Nice try, though. I gave a shit yesterday. You missed it. Look, but did you die? Hi, April. Do you guys mind that you still have mod status? Because I don't really get a whole lot of activity, but I'll leave you with it. We, the people, are the rightful masters of both Congress and the courts, not to overthrow the Constitution, but to overthrow the men who pervert the Constitution. Abraham Lincoln, yes. Education is important, but camping is importanter. I prefer dangerous liberty to peaceful servitude. Oh, amen. Save PBS, that didn't work. Demand evidence. Think critically. Pirate of the car I be in. That's fun. People sleep peaceably in their beds at night only because rough men stand ready to do violence on their behalf. George Orwell. Watch out for the idiot behind me. All tyranny needs to gain a foothold is for the people of good conscience to remain silent. Here's our Lincoln again. America will never be destroyed from the outside. If we falter and lose our freedoms, it will be because we destroyed ourselves. Wow. Wise words. Infantry, only because badass motherfucker is not an official job title. Equal rights for others does not mean less rights for you. It's not a pie. When the power of love overcomes the love of power, the world will know peace. Ha! I do not suffer from insanity. I enjoy every minute of it. Oh my gosh, that's funny. And up front, it doesn't need to be rewritten. It needs to be reread. That is so true. Yeah, that was very accurate foreshadowing right there. I mean, so that tells me that when they were coming up with the Constitution, they did think critically, and they didn't have to have seen it in front of them to be able to use their imaginations. And these were men of power who knew what having that power, what you could do with that power. And so they are the ones who set the limits on it, but we have to respect those limits, and that isn't happening anymore. We're supposed to respect them, but, just the minions or the cogs in the wheels. No marijuana. Damn. It's funny that they have to say that because it's actually illegal in Indiana, but they know. All right. So since there's no vaping inside, I'm gonna smoke out here for a minute or vape out here. How's everything going? You guys got anything going on today? I went and read a bunch of your stickers. Lincoln had a lot of foreshadowing. Very much. Do you have a card? Well, here, I've got paper right here if you've got pen. Just write it somewhere in the corner there. Yeah. I could tell you my YouTube channel too if you want.
Oh, okay.
Whoops. Do they do these about once a month or more often?
Give me a second.
Yeah, no problem. FC, this is in Michigan City, Indiana, Northwest Indiana by Lake Michigan. And tonight we're having, what is Angie's last name?
Henzman.
Henzman, is that how you say it?
It's right there.
Henzman. Oh, here, I'll show it.
Henzman.
Yep, Angie
Yes,
Henzman. Yep. And she's the mayor here, right?
No, she is. She's involved with voter.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good.
She is an official.
Okay.
Part of county government.
I remember seeing the sign saying vote for Angie, so maybe that's what I was thinking.
Angie Deutsch is the mayor.
Oh, that's why I'm confusing them then.
Yeah, I've done it too. They're both
Okay. All right, so yeah, here we are.
Indivisible is a nationwide, nonpartisan advocacy group intent on educating and informing the public about civic duty.
Yes.
Civic duty.
And if you look on mobilize.us, I've seen a lot of Indivisible's things there. So mobilize.us, you can search for your nearest city. That's where I sign up for everything, and it gives me reminders on my phone. So yes, now that, like I told you, I wasn't really educated on, you're raising your family. I wasn't paying attention. You always have this feeling of, that they really don't care, that you're going to have to pay your taxes no matter what. It's really easy to get stuck in that. And so, but now my kids are raised, my brain has more time, and this is what I'm choosing to do.
The nature of our politics has evolved over the recent generation.
Mm-hmm.
And for the most part, very powerful interests have actually worked very, very hard to advocate complacency, indifference, and apathy.
Yeah.
The CIA. Complacency, indifference, and apathy.
Oh, that's good.
Is what we see in almost all of our institutions: political, religious, educational, all the social groups. They encourage you to function like sheep.
Mm-hmm.
But groups like Indivisible have been able to leverage the technology, like what you had just described. The social media technology it's not just advancing in one direction with dating apps. It's also making it possible for groups to coordinate,
Mm-hmm.
organize.
Grassroots.
Yeah.
Well, that's my story completely. I do this alone. I just figure I don't even mind it being alone because I want to see what happens or what I can hear.
You're never alone, even if you're disconnected.
Well, and whenever I go to the protests, I end up seeing familiar faces. So I'm getting to know people, and you're never alone once you get there because you're like-minded and everybody's friendly, and I always have a good time.
It's good to be able to see that you're not alone.
Yes, and that's why I like to come out too.
What's right? There's an expression on right is right even if nobody believes it.
Yep.
Wrong is wrong even if everybody believes it. The consciousness of those of us that are capable of understanding what civic duty is expanding.
Mm-hmm.
And groups like this, Indivisible, is finding out it has allies with other groups.
Yeah.
That are trying to, they're not always trying to do the same thing, but they are united in several progressive policy areas.
Mm-hmm.
There are groups out there, their main focus, their single political issue is gun reform.
I know.
Okay. There are groups out there, their single purpose is women's autonomy.
Yeah.
There are groups out there, their single focus, oh, here she is.
Well, and to me, the proof that there's been a con job is the fact that so many different groups on the far right side have united for the same cause, even though they themselves would fight each other. And so he told each of them what they needed, and he gave each of them something. It seems.
I can't entirely agree with that because of things that I've seen.
Well, and I would trust you better because I'm just observing so far. Well, you have more experience with some of the. It sounds like it anyway. I'm kind of just diving.
Study this. I think one of the things that can be confusing about this is, well, if you remember the Tea Party, that was tremendously revolutionary.
Yep.
It changed a lot from our discourse about our politics. And what that Tea Party movement was able to do was rally people around their fear and ignorance about the government, and just as Reagan has suggested, turn their sights, their minds, their hearts against our own government. If our government is not working, it's our fault.
Yeah.
It's not the government is out to get you. You get the kind of government that
Yes. Another sticker that I have, one of the favorites that she makes is a guillotine that says something like someone tell me in the chat here, have the joy or have the day you deserve, or something like that.
you want to be the change
Yeah,
that you want to see.
I'm trying, and I'm only one person, but even and with a small YouTube channel, but it's not monetized, so they can know that it's just for whatever. Get whatever out of it you can. If you hear something tonight that you think sounds, motivational, or you learn something new.
Well, one of the things that I suspect strongly that you have started to see as possible is that once you express a position that is able to get some traction, you are capable of developing a following. That's how this all started.
Yeah.
And that following, it creates a fellowship.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're not really alone as long as
Yeah.
you have that common sense of purpose.
Well, and the YouTube community makes me feel that way too, because we've been doing protesting and different things for over a year now, and you talk to the same people.
The protests are a symptom.
Yeah.
And they have the capacity of being a catalyst.
And drawing attention is my thing. Getting more people to notice the issues.
If you're able to get more people tuned into the idea that it is possible to. Is that Georgetta? No, it's not. I haven't seen you since the wedding. No. How you doing?
Well, it was so nice to talk to you. We'll break into new conversation. I'll get inside. I'll see y'all inside. All right, we'll let him go on here. All right. Let's see. One person can make it. Yeah, you guys. I don't know what @welder desperate is, but if you're a desperate welder, I'm not looking for one. Hey, Kirby's mom. And I can't say your name, desperate welder. Okay. So, reward them for the world they created. Thank you. Thank you. I have one on my car too, but my car is being fixed right now, so I'm in my husband's car. All right, here we go. Hello. Oh, they already started. Okay, but that was an interesting conversation, so I'll go in on this side. This will just be the introductions anyway, but hello, Mom, welcome in. Good evening to you, probably.
Protests. I believe there'll be one in here in Michigan City as well.
Good.
in court, okay?
Oh, good. They're going to have
Like I
one in
said,
another town.
This is pretty special because we're going to be out to fight the Trump takeover. Also, no redistricting of our state. And as usual, no kings.
No kings.
So please come out, bring your signs and your activism. And like I said,
Hi, Granny T.
we're there starting at noon. On Wednesday, August 20th, we will hold our August public meeting at 6 p.m. at the Maryville Library. We're going to welcome Pablo Balcazar.
This is the hat I'm wearing.
Pablo Balcazar with the Indiana Undocumented Youth Alliance. This is a group that advocates for immigrants' rights. He will be there to talk about that issue. Also, we'll have Rafael Manzo, who is part of our group and who is a young activist.
Representing.
He is going to be talking about a topic that's important to him and some other young people as well. He wants to talk about what's going on with Briar Woods in Hammond. This is another ongoing concern in Northwest Indiana, and he will be there to do an update on what's going on as far as Briar Woods. Then we will go on to do Indivisible Northwest Indiana updates and discussion. And at that meeting on August 20th, we are also going to be collecting items for Hilltop Neighborhood House. So if you take a look at the graphic on the agenda, it gives a list of those items that we are looking to collect. If you can, bring an item with you to that meeting. Next, on Thursday, September 11th, we will have our September public meeting at the East Chicago Library at 6 p.m. This will be a meeting of updates and discussion. Once again, we will be collecting items for another partner that will be Haven House, Northwest Indiana in Hammond.
Looks like I have a lot of events to go to, you guys. Frank Mervan, I've heard of him.
And lastly, on Thursday, September 25th, we will welcome Congressman Frank Mervan to the Maryville Library at 6 p.m. for an informational forum. So on this piece of paper, you have 4 upcoming meetings and events. We hope that you guys join us. We usually have a pretty large group. So we're hoping to see
You can go
all
to
of
1 Million
especially at the
Rising
Maryville
online.
Library. We generally have about 100 people show up at that room. So
right
it's
here.
a big group, but it's usually well worth coming out. You learn a lot. So anyway, without further ado, I am going to bring Indiana State Representative Pat Boy up to give you some State House updates and to talk about some things that are important to her. Once she's done, then we'll bring Angie up here to talk about voter registration. Okay? Sorry I'm late. Thanks, Tim. I had a new Wi-Fi connection installed, and I can't access my printers, so I'm going to try and do this from my phone, except for stuff I've already done before I messed things up. First, I want to talk about the bills I did this year. I had one to create a tax credit for solar energy installation, a tax credit. It wasn't heard in committee, it went nowhere. I had a bill on prohibited
Can you hear her?
discriminatory practices. It was not heard in committee, it went nowhere. I had a bill to make a process for rent escrow for people who rent and their landlords have to pick something up and they're not doing it. It went nowhere. It did not get heard. I had a bill on repeal of the right to work law. It did not get heard. It went nowhere. Financial responsibility. That went nowhere. Autonomous vehicles, particularly big trucks, that to require that there be a live person in the truck, even if it's got an automatic driver, because there have been failures. It didn't get heard in committee. I had a request for a study of beer and wine distributors. because every year, the beer distributors come to us and say, well, the wine guys can do this, why can't we? And then the next year, the wine guys will come and say, the beer guys can do this, why can't we?
I don't really want any theocracy in here. That's not my thing.
So that they can all stop pushing for stuff that they don't need. It didn't get heard. I had a bill for property tax deduction for water conservation. It did not get heard.
We're grown-ups here.
It went nowhere. I did get 2 bills done. This is the first time in 7 years I've had anything go through. I had to get 2 Republicans to sign on, but I got new guys. We have a bit, in our code under education, we have a section that determines what kind of medications they can have in schools. And one of them was naloxone, which is Narcan. But that's all that was allowed for that emergency medication.
No problem, April. I got it.
Actually, a lobbyist that came to me and said last year.
Just had some juveniles.
That is almost like naloxone, but it doesn't take two doses of it to bring people around, and it lasts longer. It's FDA approved. So last year, I tried to get it through. I had, there wasn't burning committee in the House, but the lobbyist said, send it to the Senate as an amendment to an unknown bill, and see if we can get somebody to take it. I had J.B. Ford, Senator J.B. Ford, who's a Democrat, try to do that in their committee. It got heard in committee, and it was just to.
I know. I'm working on it.
Originally was to require.
This is just a meeting, though. So at the protest, you do see young people.
In schools. They didn't want to do that. One of the senators in the back of the room said, "Let them all die," and so the bill died. This year, I tried it again, and the chair of the House committee said he was going to hear my bill. And it was the same thing, requiring it in schools. It got to the committee, I talked about it, everybody thought it was a good idea. They held it over, they heard it again. The chairman said, I have an amendment. I don't think we should be requiring this in schools. So I want to take all that out. So I let him do that. So I have a new definition in the code that says.
I think that the younger ones are just in for getting out in more active things, but not necessarily sitting in meetings. But when I go to the protests, there's always plenty of young people there.
EMS guys are trying to talk to them about.
I always have hope that this will grow.
Training on how to use the new ones. Because there's a second one that's already available, which is called OPBI, and the name is Nalafine.
Yeah, my son is named after a World War II paratrooper, but I think that his head has gotten a lot of propaganda through his job, and I think that he is so at a point where he just sees that basically Indiana's hopeless. We realize that we're just working for their tax dollars and don't have time to even vacation or money.
A motorized cycle.
Yeah, thank you.
She bought it, she paid $2,000
So yeah, my
for it.
apathetic would be my son. Plus, he just moved into
No more than that.
his grandma's old house with his girlfriend, and they're fixing it up. So,
She said,
but you know that as their mom, they hear all this from me, so I won't give up,
for my driver's license, for my license for the motor vehicle.
and I'll get them to vote.
$200. And she thought that was outrageous. But then the second year when she went back.
I have 3 young people, 4 or 5. Actually, I have a lot of young people I could probably influence.
10% of my vehicle cost every year. So I thought,
Young being like mid-20s.
And that was something that they had overlooked. So they gave me the word.
Oh, that's good, Kirby.
And I got
I'd like to get involved with that too.
And it passed. So that fee is removed from electric bikes and mopeds. So that was a start. It was in no way political, but otherwise it wouldn't have gone anywhere. I was a co-author on a couple bills, but
If anybody's from the area.
the one that went through was on low They tried it last year and it really didn't go anywhere, but they brought it back this year. I was a co-sponsor, and it came out in the Senate. It was a bill to regulate the low-head dams, not the big high dams, but the ones that, you just see the water going over the way down. They're really dangerous, because if you go down one, you get caught in the current that's at the bottom of it, and people drowning in it. So that finally passed, so there's regulations on that.
Good.
Are stronger than what they were. Those are the bills that I did. There were some bills on elections that were very disturbing. There was 287, I believe it was, for school board elections.
Mm-hmm.
It was a Senate bill. Came through the Senate and then came through the House Committee on Elections. And the senator that was there, that was providing this, said, well, I didn't write this, this is hers. And it was some doctor who was running for school board in, what was the town? I don't remember. There were a whole
Thanks,
bunch of
Granny T.
Republicans that ran
I
for school
am,
board in this
as
town.
amateurs they come, and you guys are kind of watching me
So they had celebrations.
learn
So they
and
wanted to
possibly
change
go
this.
through my midlife crisis, because I'm an empty nester and I'm figuring out what to do with my time, but these topics consume my brain, so I have to do this, is what it feels like. So at least I have a hobby.
But even if you do that,
Yes, everybody here, you guys are amazing.
Partisan in any way, if you work with anybody that's paid by the federal government, or you work for the federal government, you cannot run because it would be a violation of the Hatch Act. So people who are really, really smart and do a lot of things for the good of the community can't run for school board if they are getting paid for anything that comes through the federal government, including grants. And it went through, and it passed. I voted against it, but it passed. It's really frustrating to deal with this, the stuff that goes on downstate. I want to talk about the data center that we're talking about. I went to the city council meeting when they had the public hearing. I understand that there's a lot of money involved that will help the city. I understand that we've lost a lot of tax payments. We've lost a lot of property taxes because of the changes in the budget this year. But I think we need to make sure we're doing the right thing for our community. So I asked them 12 questions, and I said, I'm not committing on anything in this, but I want you to investigate these questions and get the answers before we vote on it. So my first question was, are union workers doing the majority of the renovation of the property? My second question was, how many full-time employees will work there when it's fully operational? What skills will they need? Will these be high-paying jobs? How many tax breaks or credits will the center receive? How will the city and its residents benefit from this facility? Will the data center be supplying its own electricity? We understand it will require a lot of electricity. If not, how much can we expect our electric bills to go up yet again if NIPSCO needs to add additional equipment to ensure an adequate supply to them? Will the potential increase for NIPSCO in question 7 be borne by current users before they are operational, and will they pay the same rates as residential users or commercial rates, which are much lower? How much water will they be using on a daily basis? What is the water used for, and where will it come from? City water, direct from Lake Michigan, groundwater? Do they have a plan to filter and cool any water that's touched by chemicals or been heated? Where will they
This is
send
a
the water
fucking
after
data
it's used?
center.
Those are my questions that I asked them in the
Like the
meeting.
lake isn't polluted by the great big nuclear power plant already.
Water if it's heated, because it can't go directly into Trail Creek, because Trail Creek is a Santa stream.
They're also using diesel generators rather than natural gas generators. They provide more power, but they also provide a lot of emissions and a lot of noise. And these are not too far from schools and homes. I have some issues with it. I'm not gonna
This is
come
the
out and
problem
say
with
it's a
releasing
terrible
regulations,
thing,
because now these people are just going to set something up here, and it makes me feel like we have absolutely no choice, and they're just going to set something up that heats water in the creeks and the lakes that it's not supposed to, and possibly messes with the ecosystem, and then sends out emissions because they're using
I'm
diesel.
open-minded, they do all the right things with it. I don't
And
think it's that
no
big a
problem.
because the sound level is supposed to
There's
be
a town
60
called
60
Alexandria, Indiana, and they have a problem with childhood cancer, similar to like Flint, Michigan, with the water, because there was a cleanup that never happened.
That's a little bit more than the sound of a refrigerator running. But when they turn on the diesel generators, there's going to be a lot more noise.
Right by the lake.
Okay. Yesterday, I got to go to the press conference in Chicago with the Northwest Indiana delegation and the, yes,
Councilman Dabney and large councilman here in Michigan City. Did you get any answers to those questions that you submitted?
pardon me?
Did you get any answers to those questions that you submitted?
I didn't get any answers yet, but I want them to discuss those and find the answers. They don't have to tell me their answers, they just need to make sure that they're followed up.
It's very interesting, and I'm sorry to break it like this, but we had answers to those questions at the last meeting, but the way the meeting was run, it felt totally off the rails. We had people there that were going to speak about these different things, everything that you mentioned, but they started public comment, and those folks did not get a chance to come up and talk about it. So it will be.
Would you want to come up and talk? I can't hear a thing you're saying, and I don't think anybody else can. I know it's not fun to walk on your hip, but you can do it. You can do it.
It's loud enough.
All right.
Okay. And first thing I asked, did you get an answer to the questions? You said you did not. But when the last meeting was taking place, we had people there with answers to these questions. We had folks that took a trip over to Hammond. A data center is going to be much larger in the footprint than the one we have here in Michigan City. So we had answers about the emissions, about the water usage, how it's going to work, the employment, and everything that's going on with unions, because I have answers, but I'm not going to stand here and do it tonight. But it's very interesting that there are answers. Every question that you have, there are answers to them. And I will have somebody in their box and submit them wherever you want to submit them to. I'm no longer on Facebook. I've given that up maybe three months ago. But the meeting did not go the way we should have had that thing. Because there were people there to talk about all of those issues. They didn't get a chance to speak. And then the barrage of questions came in. Immediately, like I said, the admissions questions went over in Hammond, had a quick to see. I'll give you just one answer. That's one of the big ones that I've been hearing most. The guy said that they're legally able to put like 12,000 pounds of CO2 in the air per year or something like that. They only do 1,000. And ours is going to be smaller. So I'm thinking we're going to be okay there. Water usage, now I'm going into all the questions. But it comes directly in from the lake and how this works. There's a loop of water that stays within the plant, and it has to use for cooling. As it evaporates, then more water will need to come in to refill that, but it's not just a constant barrage of water.
But isn't that just evaporating all the lake water that you pull in?
They're pulling well water, they're emptying out wells. We run out of Lake Michigan. Water will be filtrated before it goes back out into the system, just like it would your home after you flush the toilet. So there are a lot of answers out there, a lot of misinformation out there, and I look forward to seeing everybody at that meeting. That will be the September 2nd meeting, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, I have a question about what you just said.
Yep.
If they only replace the water after it evaporates, what have they got to send to the sanitary district?
What's that? I'm sorry.
What have they got to send to the sanitary district if the water is only replaced when it evaporates.
All of the water is never going to be evaporated. Any water that would go out, we do have a sewer that is out there that'll be separated and dedicated to them, as well as a water line that will go out there as well. We find it interesting that this is coming up now when there's a metal plating place right next door that is submitting a lot more chemicals into the ground and so forth. And when they first came and started building before this became an issue,
See, I don't know about any of
they
this.
really didn't need to be involved when they bought that property. It was zoned correctly. The first thing they did is replace the floor to make sure that anything, if the very thick flooring that they had to put down there by regulations to avoid anything going into the ground. So there's a lot of information out there, and I hope you guys plan to attend that council meeting because there's going to be some information out there. I know it's not going to sway any opinions on it. I'm getting emails, 5 or 6, 7 emails on it every day. But there's a lot of misinformation out there. I'll just tell you that, and I hope to see you guys at the council.
And the water treatment plant handle the water?
Yes, our water system is fine.
Yeah, they did say that in the meeting, but I asked my questions before they did.
Yeah.
I had a question about the NIPSCO. They said that they're going to have a subsidiary company of theirs that's going to do it at Gen Con.
Yes, and I heard a very good explanation this morning. I can't give the guy's name, but I had an economic development corporation meeting this morning.
Okay, because they did not have an answer for us at that meeting.
No, and they need to do a better job at what they have to do, especially NIPSCO. I was very disappointed that they didn't have anybody there. They need a consultant or somebody that can explain that.
Their representative wasn't even informed of what.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
It was kind of frustrating.
Yeah.
Because people couldn't get an answer for what they needed to know. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
I just want to mention that just transition Northwest Indiana is going to have a Zoom call. Just transition Northwest.
Just Transition Northwest Indiana is going to be having a Zoom call on Monday at 6 p.m. and you can get the information from their Facebook page, and it'll be kind of a more informative on this issue.
and this last thing, and I'm done. They said, do your own research. Do your own research. I've been going straight to medical journals. That's where I've gone because one of the biggest questions has been about the emissions and the chemicals and all that kind of stuff. And I've been searching, trying to find one case, where someone has had cancer diagnosis due to a data center. Can't find it. So,
I'm not arguing with you either way. I just want to make sure we get those.
But how long have data centers been around?
And if you can get them all to us at that meeting, that'd be great.
yes.
Thank
yes.
you.
Have data centers been around long enough for them to have that data, though? Come on.
Because my computer printer was not working, and so I've got to figure out.
He says that there's going to be that they will have their own it's going to be through the sanitation department that it's going to be cleaned and sent back out just like when you flush your toilet. Yeah, allegedly. This shit makes me nervous.
It's here somewhere. I know it's here somewhere.
Yeah, Granny T, I'm going to go to the lake after this because I can't not go because I'm very close. And it's a beautiful night. And I'll do another live. And I mean, I've done it there before, but you can see the power plant, just an eyesore.
And Medicaid covers a whole lot.
They're all around the tip of the, well, they're probably all around Lake Michigan in general.
It covers the elderly care. It covers a lot of that. People that are going to be pulled off of that will be pulled off of it after the midterm elections. So it'll happen after, and everybody thinks they're going to be taken off now. No, it's going to happen after they finish the elections next year. So that the this isn't going to reach, but I don't know if anybody can hear you. I'm sorry.
What's the governor, what's going to happen to people who are in those facilities once they get competent? What are they going to do?
I wish I knew. She wanted to know what's gonna happen to the people that are in those facilities that need to, what are they gonna do if they're picked up? The ones with disabilities probably will not be. And that's the question. And part of the problems with what they want to do to cut people off is that you have to be working if you can. But that makes it a problem for people who have children and they're working, but there's no daycare. There's no daycare for anybody in the state now that you can afford. The last I heard, a daycare costs about $11,000 a year per child. Yes, $11,000 a year. That's for full-time daycare. If you want to work, you have to have somebody to take care of your kids. If you don't want to work, you don't get Medicaid. It's just, they're trying to get people in a loophole where they can't get out, and it's just very frustrating. That one came out of the Senate. Yes?
The question, I don't know the answer is, I won't state that, but you hear me? So, because all of these are things on the after the if you're lucky enough to get the House Act, the Democrats got the House Act, is there anything they can do about that?
She's asking that if Democrats get the House,
She wants
is there
to know if
anything
there's
they...
anything that the Democrats could do if they get the House back. I've got to say, even if we get an increase in people, we're never going to get the House back with the way we've been gerrymandered. Right now, we have 30 out of 70. If we had 34 out of 70, we could do the same thing that Texas did and leave the state for a while. We did that once before, and they all got fined when we got back. I think they had to pay $1,000 a day for while they were gone.
Good God. Sorry, I was muted. Sorry. I guess I touched the screen. Thank you.
To the committee meetings to talk about them and to tell them why the things that they're proposing are so bad and what effect they're going to have on people.
One thing that I like to do when I come to meetings, I like to hear about solutions. There's a solution to everything, but it can't be done. The solution to problems can't be done here at one meeting. But there's some brilliant minds here, and Martin Bill, brilliant minds. But you can't propose a problem and come up with a solution at one meeting. And she's just presenting it now. So somebody, people form committees research this, study that, proposed solution. That may help.
And if you don't know how to access the Indiana website to find out what bills are being considered, I can give you a tutorial. I can give you a tutorial tonight if you'd like. But we can do that at the end of the meeting. if there's
Cool.
time. Okay, well, I can't find my messages, but I know we were talking about redistricting, and apparently J.D. Vance came to see the governor last week, I think it was, and they discussed it. But I don't think at this point the governor is in favor of it. And I've seen what Beckwith is. I'm not going to talk about Beckwith. He's an overgrown teenager. I didn't say that, did I? Yes, I did. That's off the record. How's that?
She said Micah Beckwith is
No,
is an overgrown
We
teenager.
came to see the governor and we discussed it, but I've seen articles that say that the senators and House of Representatives, Republicans, are not necessarily in favor of this. It would upset the whole state's districts if we had to redistrict the federal districts. And it'll take the Census Bureau at least 2 years to get all the stuff together that they need to do another census report for them to do this. So it doesn't look like it's going to happen, but I would never put it past them to try it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody have any other questions? No.
Closer to my mouth. Okay. I have a question about, you guys were talking about the state of Indiana. I'm talking about if the Democrats can bring the seats in Congress. We can do something about the bill, right? We could undo some of the executive orders and all that stuff. Okay. Well,
They'll all be on board. Can't do much in the state though, because we only got 30 right now. We need to gain 4, which means we can't lose any of the 30. Okay. Another question?
please, tell me if I'm correct or not, but it is my understanding that NIPSCO and other utility companies in the state of Indiana are now allowed to go around what used to be when they wanted to raise your bills, they had to ask for rate hikes with the rate increases with the utility commission. And if they now can bypass that and not do that, just raise your utility bill as they see fit by increasing that item on your bill that says transportation and delivery charges. That they now, because of the actions of the Republicans in our Indiana State Legislature, are able to do this. Just raise your bill as they see fit. Not as an increase in your electric rate or your gas rate, but by increasing the utility and delivery charges. I know sometimes I look at my bill and the delivery and utility charges are 3 times as much as my gas usage. And again, I think that the voters in the state need to know that it's not just utility companies doing this to you, but it's being done because Republican legislators allow it to happen. Am I correct in that?
I believe so. But they do still have to go to the OUCC to talk about rate increases, and they mediate with the IURC, which makes the rules. As a matter of fact, they had asked for, I think, 32 million on their last increase, and they only got 16. They didn't get as much as they wanted, which is good for us, except it's still a lot more money than we all can afford to pay. And I'm glad you brought up the power, because I went to a meeting in June On June 10th, I went downstate to it wasn't a committee meeting, but it was a meeting that we were all invited to. I was one of 2 Democrats that showed up, all the rest were Republicans. The speakers were on Zoom, so we didn't get to see them to talk to them, but they did give us a chance to ask questions. What they want to do is they want to bring coal back into power companies. We just finally got NIPSCO to stop using coal. We got them to close all the ponds. They didn't do a bad job of.
So our
cleaning the ponds
energy
out, which
company
I
just
absolutely
stopped
agree.
using coal. Yay.
And I heard that they are putting the new.
So that means that
seawall
big
in
tower
along-
that I showed you
along
guys, the big
Creek.
smokestack that was next to the
That's
lake,
one of
they
the
just now
historic
stopped using
parts.
coal.
And there's a historical record that shows there was a coal ash pond that was buried there. Not
Ew.
lined, just buried there. So that's why they have to line, that's why they have to replace the liner. That was in a historical record that I was sent, and I was really disturbed by it. But they want to go back to coal. They want to go mining it some more. They want to go using it in power companies, and they want no ramifications around that. So all I did, they asked us if we had any questions, and I asked, if they do go back to coal, will they be required to line the ponds before they put coal ash in them? And they said, oh, yes, we always protect the consumers.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't say anything else because I couldn't say anything that would have been polite.
Who doesn't want a big old coal ash deposit next to their lake? Good old Lake Michigan. There you go.
I think that's crazy. Rather than investing in more renewables, more green infrastructure, they want to bring back coal.
Okay,
And
I
they're
see a
still talking
restroom. I'm
about
going to have to
slowing
leave you
down
all to go
the
to it.
The thing I was really worried about, if NIPSCO wanted to.
My underwire is literally sticking out and getting me.
We would have to pay for the financing and the study of it before they even put it in. And
Okay,
then
I'll
if
be
it
right
didn't
back.
work,
Hope
we'd
my
still
phone
be
doesn't
paying
fall.
rates on it. And I thought that was really egregious, but they still want to do it. The utility company, the utility committee wants to do it. I can't say that the whole House does, or that the whole Senate does, but the utility committee is interested in that. I don't really have a question. Okay.
Hello, everybody.
He doesn't need a mic.
Yeah, I don't need a microphone.
Okay, Sarge.
I would really have my own megaphone. My name is Sergeant Anthony. Promise I will be brief. This time, I'm really appreciative that you got me to stay. Because right after you asked your question at the city council meeting, I had a chance to speak, and I said, I'm absolutely against this data center. Because I've seen how private we've seen how private equity is trying to find weakness in local government. They don't want to be a partner with municipalities. They want to use weak local government as pawns. The way in which you can know that this is a bad idea, there's more than just a few red flags. There are some deal breakers in the information that is publicly available right now. This says that they are a family. If anything doesn't work, there's no accountability. That's how they're able to hide. That's how you know. There are a lot of things that we could do. Guess what? You can know this is something we shouldn't be discussing. As a matter of fact, I apologize. I wanted to start simply by saying that. Thank you. You are one of my heroes, really are. And you know the Republicans are not going back to their constituents to talk about anything. They are afraid of their people. And as a matter of fact, if you watch news, you've seen them lie to their people in this extended recess that they're taking.
Sitting on old bleachers like when I was a kid. This is the energy we need right here.
For their culture. Anyway, thank you so much. When you look at the long list of
Welcome,
issues
Kathy.
that she's been a champion for, You see the difference is the heartache and disappointment. This is the reason why we can't have nice things. Please do not give up. Don't quit.
Well overgone. But I am done unless somebody else has a burning question. A burning question.
Hey, Matt.
Pat, whatever happened to the law, the EPA that you were in Chicago for, are they gonna go back and cap the old coal ash pits? What was the outcome of that? Was that still pending?
The EPA last year approved that plan. They passed it, their rule was enacted, and then Trump got in office and they're taking it away.
One more quick thing about data centers. I've been involved with Chesterton and Nebraska Golf Course. Okay, Chesterton, Nebraska Golf Course, Burns Harbor, Valparaiso. We had a huge meeting at the Expo Center. They give you a presentation. You can't ask questions. You can give statements. And if you stop Dunlin and Bethel Wheeler data centers, they have a lot of good information and articles. And I just wonder about what Indiana has done. Can we still control our own towns and cities? I know Wheeler, Union Township is Porter County, but I don't know if we can still say no, people.
They talk a lot about home rule, and then they violated it every turn. That's all I can say about it.
The difference between the issues in Chesterton and in Michigan City is that in Michigan City, they already have the zoning that they need. Yes, it's already zoned for them. And in Chesterton, it wasn't, so they were able to stop it by stopping the zoning change.
Very clever. Okay. Thank you so much, everybody. I appreciate you all being here, and there's a lot more coming.
Thank you, Pat. You are always a fountain of information, and we appreciate you so much for always coming when we need you. So thank you. Now you're going to have Angie Henzman. She is going to speak to us about changes and things going on with voter registration.
it.
You
I
cannot
did.
use a PO box. I have
She was just
individuals
talking
who are
about
truck drivers who
the
will
things we already
use,
knew we had to have for
vacant
voter
space
registration.
and
Now
have
this
a
is
PO
new.
box there. You cannot
Sorry.
use a PO box
Can you hear
as
now?
your residence. You can use a PO box as your mailing. In fact, there are lots of places in LaPorte County where you don't have mail that comes to your house. You have to use a PO box. But in order
Are
to
we back?
register, it has to be a valid mailing address. It has to be a valid residential address. I want to explain why this is important, okay? We get your registration, and then it goes into the
Thank you.
system, and the system will yell at us and tell us we can't go any further without further research if they think you're not residential. So if it's commercial, say it's an office building, or let's say that you want to register at
Maybe
the
your
church,
address is in the
or
Aldi
maybe
parking lot.
it's, your job. Those are big no-nos. And now the system will yell at us, and a lot of times the system yells at us when it shouldn't. So that's why our job is so important. We have to look at each individual registration and make sure it's a valid residence address. You cannot register to vote just because you own property in this state. That's a big one. In the last municipal election, Long Beach people were being told that because even though they lived in Illinois, they owned property in Long Beach, they could register in Long Beach. That's not true. If you don't live there, you don't vote there. Okay? So just remember that. You have to have your age, you have to be over 18, you have to be a citizen, and you have to live here. So everything that we do in voter registration is about proving those things. And the state just keeps making it more difficult for you. So I want to talk a little bit about some of those things. Also, I would say there was a question about if you're homeless, if you know someone who is in between homes, there are ways that we can work with you. I would definitely say if you're homeless, connect them to a shelter if you can. Keys to Hope in Michigan City does a great job of helping them. They have to get like an ID or something. You don't have to have an ID to register to vote, but you are going to need an ID when you go to vote. If they know the last four of their social security number, they can get registered, right? But they're going to need that ID. And as far as what they can use as their residence, we have a lot of folks that do put their hotel room as their residence, as long as their mailing address, is valid. Or so, if they send it to like a PO box, okay. Keys to Hope is fantastic about this. They will allow people to use their location as their residence address. So if you have any questions, I have my information in the back. And
I'm familiar
always
with
call
Keys
our
to Hope.
office.
They helped my sister.
As many questions as possible, but I'm not done yet. But I'm just saying, if you have questions, if you're trying to help someone, whether they be a college student, maybe a homeless person, and you're trying to help them, they have a non-traditional residential situation, call us. Because if we don't know the answer, we'll find the answer, okay? Everyone who lives in Indiana has a right to vote, except for those who are currently residing in prison, okay? That's the other thing. A lot of folks think if you've been to prison, you can never vote again. That's not true. They think if you've ever had a felony in your background, you can never vote again. That's not true. What is true is that if you get a felony on your record, we get that at our office. You get canceled automatically. When you get out, and you have to be out, we check. When you get out of prison and you get your, your documents updated and whatnot, you can then re-register with us. So anyone who says to you, I'm a felon, I cannot
Clearly,
vote, that's not
around
true,
here,
okay?
we got plenty
Please
of
help
this
us
experience.
distill
It's sad to
distill
have to
that
be able to
in
talk
there.
about this
Also,
stuff
it's
like that.
important. A lot
But we
of folks
have
don't realize
the
they
Indiana
get
State
automatically
Prison
canceled.
in
So
this
if
county
they are a felon,
is
they
closing
need to
and
check their
combining
registration.
with
They need to get it
Westville.
up to date. So, and then overseas
It's
voters.
huge.
So we have a lot of folks
Hi, Carly.
who live overseas.
We're
whether
in
it be
Michigan City,
military,
Indiana.
or it be like a student for education, or just that they used to live here and now they live somewhere else.
You can vote in the last residential address that you lived at while you were in America. So it gets a little bit hairy there. But wherever you lived last, so if you lived in LaPorte County last, this would be the county that you would vote through. And there's a lot of different things about what ballots you get and such. But just so you know, even if you are living overseas and you plan to come back sometime, you can still register to vote as long as you use your last known address. So there's a lot of things that get a little bit in the weeds. But just know that it is your right to vote. And you need to make sure that you're registered. I want to make sure you understand that that means making sure that you're updated as well.
I checked that right
If
after
you
the
move,
election,
if
but I've been in
you
the same
have
place for
any change,
30 years now.
any kind of life change,
Well,
you need
same
to
house
reach out,
for
you need to
27.
update your registration. It's better safe than sorry. We get registration duplicates all the time. It's not going to hurt anything, but if you don't update your registration, it could mean that you can't vote in the election. So we want to make sure everyone is registered to vote at their current address with their correct name. Let's talk a little bit more about what you do to prove your residency. Most people who register to vote, they register through the DMV. They'll use their ID card number, their driver's license number, or the last four of their social security number. That goes into our system, and it will validate it for us. If it does not validate it, and there are reasons it would not validate it. You give us a social security number, but you have like a hyphenated name, the system will kick that back and say it's not validated. There are issues with the system. We run into this every year around election time. So I always tell people, make sure that you're keeping up with that. If you register to vote, you don't get a card back from us, please call our office and make sure we got that information and you're not having problems processing it. So, but if you do not have an Indiana ID and for some reason your social security number is not working for us, or you don't remember it or whatnot, then you have to provide proof of residency. What happens is you'll receive a mail from us. Any of these situations that I'm talking about, we will send you mail to the address we have on file for mailing. This is where it gets hairy. Because if we send you mail
Whoops,
and it gets
plugging in my
kicked
charger,
back to
sorry.
us, the system assumes you don't actually live there. Okay, so that starts a whole different ball of worms, right? So you want to make sure that your registration is updated right where you live, that your mailing address is valid, and you're going to get your mail. Because if it gets kicked back as undeliverable, that will cause problems for you. So, accepted documents to prove your residency. Two things to note here. When you prove your residency, you can do so at our office. You can mail it to us. You cannot email and fax it, but bring it to our office or mail it to us. You can bring a bank statement, a government document, a utility bill, a paycheck, any of those things that prove that you reside here in LaPorte County in this district, right? Yes. My office it's on the back too, but it's 555 Michigan Avenue, it's in LaPorte. Voter registration office.
Like new voters, 18-year-olds that have to go to you, and
They can go to the DMV. Yep, and we'll talk.
or to you.
There's a lot of different ways, and I will get to that. But let's talk about the requirements first, and then we'll get to how. I'm sorry, I'm a little backwards on that. Okay, so you have to have proof of residency. If you bring it to our office before the election time, you're golden. If you wait until election day, you actually have to bring it to the polls before they will let you vote. So it's really important that you make sure that your information is updated and validated. Okay, big change. The biggest change that came down from the state is the citizenship issue. As everybody has been paying attention, you know that the federal, every state, they're all saying we have tens of thousands of illegal aliens that are voting every year, and that's why the liberals are winning, blah, blah, right? So they've been pushing this narrative for long enough now that they're saying we need more and stricter ways to keep tabs on citizenship. So what they did was they decided to start working with the local BMV. And the BMV, when you go to the BMV, say you're an immigrant, and you are trying to get citizenship. You're literally trying, you're getting a green card. You're going through all the process, but you need a driver's license so you can drive to work, because you have to have a job before you can raise the money, so you can become a citizen, right? When you do that, and you go to the BMV, they're going to give you an ID, but it's going to say you're a temporary license. It's a temporary credential. What happens now is that we have that list of temporary credentials, and we get notified or flagged if you have ever had a temporary license. Mind you, it doesn't tell us if you've updated it since then. It says if you have ever had a temporary license. We're talking 10, 15, 20 years ago. I have people who are like, I literally have been in this country for 30, 40 years, and it gets tagged because they are an immigrant. They have to prove their citizenship. Here's where it gets hairy. They decided they were going to go through the entire voter lists across the state of Indiana, and they were going to match it with the BMV lists that tell us that they had a temporary license once upon a time. And if they did, we got notification of that. We had to send out mailings to them, and those people who we sent out mailings to have 30 days, once they get that notice, to give us proof of citizenship. That means in person or by mail, but I recommend in person, because you don't know if it's going to get to us in time. This is unacceptable. There is no other situation in our state where you're going to be canceled within 30 days. They might say you're going to be inactive for a while, but they don't say you're going to be
So if you don't
canceled.
respond within 30 days, you're just going to be canceled off the voter registration rolls.
Immigrants, we can't trust them. So now they have to prove it to us. It's absolutely disgusting. If you register to vote and you're an immigrant, now I can't even process your registration without proof. You'll get rejected. But if you don't give us, and if they don't bring that proof within that 30 days, here's where it gets crazy. You get canceled or rejected. And then if you want to register again, you have to go before the actual physical LaPorte County Election Board. You have to go to your county election board and plead your case. You literally have to plead your case before the board to prove that you are actually a citizen. They are making them jump through hoops. So I want to talk to those of you who do voter registration. Make sure you know. Ask them if you have to. Have you ever had a temporary license? And if the answer is yes, then tell them the next step is you're going to need to get to your local voter registration office with your proof of citizenship. And I've provided the information there. If you have a birth certificate, a passport, certificate of naturalization is the big one. And our representative had them add consular reports of birth abroad this year.
The word naturalization bothers me. So we're making people natural?
If I'm correct. And they weren't including them in this whole thing. So, just so you know, this does not apply at this point. Mind you, we have the executive orders and we have the SAFE Act. The SAFE Act they're trying to push through federally. But at this point, unless you have a temporary license issue, you're not going to get that citizenship proof ding. But mind you, the next step will be everybody will have to go through this process. I guarantee it. Next year, would you agree? They tried to push it this year. Next year, they will push it even harder. Okay, proof of identification when you vote. The big change is if you're a college student in a state facility, you cannot use your college IDs anymore. They meet all of the requirements necessary for someone to vote. They're state issued, they have their ID, they have their an expiration date, and they have and yeah. And if that photo, thank you, my brain. But for some reason, and I watched all of those things happening down there. I was angry. I wanted to throw something at my screen because they were talking to those college students so disrespectfully. Seriously watch people. When I say they, I mean like press. Like one of our representatives was acting like those college students were asking for special privileges because they went to a college
voter
in a
repression.
state university.
How dare they treat?
And they were sitting there saying,
I get so
all
angry.
the things that are going to cause me problems. It's going to be hard for me to get my ID, etc. And they were like, we don't care. So anyway, that's going to become an issue more as we get closer to 2026. And I want to just make one note for you. We have a lot of maintenance programs. So just like the Citizenship program, we have other programs. We get lists, we send out notifications. If you get something from us or the state, make sure you are dealing with that in a timely fashion. There are time limits to these things, okay? The state sent out a mailing maintenance thing they do every odd year. You should have gotten it. That says you lived here, you're registered to vote. If you didn't, you need to call us. That means that we have something on file wrong for you, okay? If that gets returned to us, then it starts this whole ball of wax that you're inactive and all that. So please pay attention to your mail. And if you haven't updated, please update. Okay, so methods of registration. Again, this was something they were trying to change. There was actually a bill that would have ended DMV registrations. This is the most common way we have people register and update the registrations. And if they get that through, which I'm telling you, everything they tried to push through in this session, they will push through again. They will try again. They never stop, right? So, but currently, at this time, you can still go to the DMV and register, update your registration. But let me tell you something. If you go to the DMV to register your vehicle, and they say, do you want to update your registration, and you say no, if you say no, sorry guys, that's fine. A lot of people say no because they're already registered. But if the information the DMV gives us doesn't match what we have on your file, that starts a mailing. You get a mailing. We either do a registration or a declination for every single person who walks through the DMV that does a registration. So if they ask you, do you want to register to vote? Say yes. Just say yes. If you're registered already, it will not hurt a thing. But if you are not, and it's different, that starts a whole thing. So just say yes if they ask you if you want to register to vote. You can also register at my office. Like I said, we are at 555 Michigan Avenue in LaPorte. We are catty corner to the courthouse. We are not in the courthouse. We are not the clerk's office. We are, if you know where you go to pay your taxes, we're in that down there. And I know that every county is a little different. So if you're from Porter County or Lake County, they all have different structures. But our numbers are out there. Call and ask. That's what we're here for. And you can mail in your form, and you can do it online. I've included a QR code for you that will take you to Indiana Voters. If you say, I'm not sure if my stuff is updated, I want to check, go to Indiana Voters. You can do it right now on your phone. Put your name, it takes your name, your birthday, and the county you registered in, and it will tell you what your address on file is, that you're registered, give you the option to update, all of that. Right now, ladies, you do not have to provide a birth certificate if your name changes, right? You do not. You just need to make sure you get your ID updated before elections. All right, so, question? No. Well, it does, okay. So, all right, she asked, does your ID have to match your birth certificate? Like that. So, right now, if you have a name change, you just need to go online or let us know. Your registration will get up to date. The problem is when you go to vote. Most of the time, it won't be an issue. You'll fill out a form to update it when you go to vote.
I would honestly just recommend that women never change their name again.
So I'm just saying, if you haven't updated your
When my son
registration,
marries his girlfriend, it won't bother me at all for her to keep her last name. It doesn't matter.
Your ID doesn't have to, so your address doesn't have to match your registration when you vote, but your name does. Okay, so update. I will pound on that until I'm blue in the face. Update, update, update. No matter what the changes are. Yes.
So if you have to re-register because you moved or something, and then if you have a name that's different than the birth certificate, then you have to try to register.
No, as long as you have an ID or a social security number that matches in our system. So as long, we match all the time, people who have name changes, they go to the BNB and it matches automatically. BNB is a great option, and I know that they do, but it's harder now. I will say this, with the real ID, it makes it more difficult, there are more documents required, all of that. As usual, it's just about making it more difficult. Do we have any questions about voter registration? Any of the changes that are happening?
Somebody once told me that, yeah, someone once told me that because they did not vote in the last election, they were purged. Could you address that?
So that is not true. You are not removed from the polls, from the rolls because you didn't vote in the last one. We have a lot of folks who think they have to register every year. That's also not true. However, where it happens is if you don't vote in the last two elections, the last two federal elections, that's a midterm and a presidential, then what happens is your registration goes to inactive status. And then after if your registration goes to inactive status for those two elections, then you get purged. We do have people who get removed from the rolls every year after the general election. So if they haven't voted in a while, then they may have been taken off of the rolls. But not if you just missed one. The other issue that people have with the rolls is the mailing address. If there's a problem with your mailing address, if you gave us the wrong apartment number, if you put something in incorrectly, it bounces back to us. Mind you, the UPS, now they use computers, so it's much more automated, and people can't just go, oh yeah, Susie down the street, I know her. It's something in Gary, Indiana that's running it through a computer system, so you have to make sure that your address is correct or it's gonna bounce. That's important because if we get something and it returns to us and we send you another form and it returns to us, then you go to inactive. Then again, after 2 elections of being inactive, you'll be taken off the lists. But the good news is if you vote, you're back to active. Everything starts over. If you update your registration, you're back to active. Everything starts over. Like I said, the only thing that's actually time sensitive is the citizenship thing. They're literally saying within 30 days, if you don't give us the information we need, and mind you, we don't have an election until 2026. You would think they would have at least said you have until the next election to prove your citizenship. That's how you know this is not about being fair or being careful or wanting to do the right thing. That's about just kicking off everybody they can from the rolls. Yeah.
I work for a community workplace community practice. Our city residents at my facility able to vote. They don't practice the vote.
Yeah, so we have lots of work release folks. We have a work release program in Port County, and we get it all the time. As long as they're no longer at the facility, as long as they're no longer incarcerated, actively incarcerated, and that doesn't mean jail. If you're in jail but you're not convicted
Why
yet,
is that
or you're not
funky?
convicted of a felony, you're not going to get taken off of the registrations. It's just those people who have been convicted of a felony and have yet to fulfill their sentence. Once you pay your debt to society, you can and you should get your registration back. Indiana still has that option. Not all the states have that ability. It differs by every state. Okay, so great questions. Yeah. Yes, please do.
I'm with the League of Women Voters in Porter County, so we do voter registration all the time, and we've been trying to keep up with all these changes. So the first thing is someone told me not recently that if you register to vote or change your registration at the DMV too close to the election, like say within 30 days, that it may not get processed. So if you are very close to the election, you should go online or fill out the form and take it. Is that valid?
Okay, so there is actually a freeze on registrations 30 days before the election. We cannot process anything 30 days before the election. Yeah, that deadline. And we'll receive them, but we cannot process them. So we have a lot of people, and I will tell you on election day this year, we had so many young people who said,
Yeah, just because of your name, bye.
And I go in and look, and they registered on October 31st.
I don't have any tolerance for the games.
We have to get people to understand there is
When
a deadline in Indiana. Not every state has that.
Are you watching the world? Do you see that it's kind of going to shit?
It's 30 days before the general election and 30 days before the primary. We will they freeze the registration period.
Also, saying those names has got to be one of the stupidest thing I've seen people do, and it's just so juvenile. And you can say those names all you want; it doesn't matter.
Follow the guidelines of the deadline. Oh, that's nice. Okay. Okay, so then the other thing is about the temporary ID. Okay, so I'm having a hard time understanding how to talk to people about that. So you're saying that if we're out talking to people, we should ask them, have you ever had a temporary ID? All right, and if you have, what should you tell them to do? Check your voter registration, and if you're still good, and then are you good, or do you have to keep checking it?
So I thought I knew the answer to that, but I was just informed yesterday that they will be doing another round of purging, so to speak, and they'll be doing more names. So we had 20 people in LaPorte County that were affected, and I thought, okay, that's it. That's not it. They are going to do another round, from what I understand. So here's what I would say when you're talking to folks. If you ask them if they're a citizen, you may want to ask them if they're an immigrant, if you can work that through the conversation. But the temporary license, they should understand what that means, because they were told at the DMV. Basically, you just need to say, if you're not, and it's tricky, right? Because they're trying to get rid of birthright, citizenship, and all of that. What are we going to do, right? But for now, right now, the main thing is just if they're an immigrant and they've had to get a temporary license. And it's ridiculous. I've had people who were in this country since they were 6 years old that have had to come in and bring us their proof of citizenship because they had a temporary license at some point in their life. It's crazy. It's definitely going to be something we have to figure out how to address. We need to I have information that I print out.
Oh, is she?
I go and register people that says
I didn't hide Carly. I held. Oh shit! I did. Sorry. Oh God! How do I undo that?
Register people. Also, here's the thing: if they do have,
I know
that
Carly's
problem,
good.
they'll get the mail.
Oh my
They
God!
will
I don't know
get
how to
a
undo
mail.
it.
We send that out to them.
Oh, good. Thank you. No, the one I removed was the Professor Kakan, Tanya Ribguy Becky. I don't even want to deal. So yeah.
Yeah. I do know that the state did implement more watchers this time around. They gave a lot more leeway for watchers during the election. I think that will be an issue. There'll be more challengers. So yes, he said, well, I have to be concerned
Yes,
about
definitely
my
friendly
ballot
fire.
being
Thanks, Mac.
challenged. And the answer is, it's possible. Because
Carly's
we are
got good
opening
comments.
the door for a lot more people to be at those locations on election day and watching. And is that correct? Yeah. Yeah.
Can you explain the difference between a temporary driver's license and any kind of state ID? And
It's the same. Temporary credentials is what it is. So, because it doesn't matter if you're getting a driver's license or you're getting a state ID, if you don't have, if you're not a citizen at the time that you go to the BMV, they're going to give you a temporary license. Yeah.
What are they watching for, and what are they allowed?
You know, there's challenges to, we don't think that person is registered to vote and things to that effect. I think they can challenge, like, if you're wearing a shirt that has a candidate on it and things to that effect.
Stupid.
I'm not 100% sure. In our county, the issue is training. I'm just gonna tell you, that's my pet peeve. We're running out of time, so I wanted to tell you guys, so my other hat,
Real quickly, now this gentleman right here with the incarcerated people, the lady with the League of Women Voters, Indivisible and all these organizations, we would like you all to come to that the East Chicago meeting, because we need that education. You said education, we need it better. There are over 17,500 young people who are going to be on voting age around the Gary area, and we're not getting any of this. And we have to get the East Chicago, we have to get the National NWI to approve our East Chicago branch, because we paid our money and they have not approved our branch. And that's another issue. I don't know what's going on with that. But we need you all to come and address this. This is so important.
do you know when the East Chicago meeting will be?
I gotta go to that.
September 11th. Okay.
Okay, East Chicago,
yeah.
September 11th. It's called East Chicago, but it's in Indiana.
Brought it up, but I have a friend who applied for a passport because they want to leave the country. She has never applied for a passport before. She was born on an Air Force base in England. They told her she couldn't get it. She's not a U.S. citizen. She contacted England. She's not. They said, no, you're a U.S. citizen. It was on U.S. soil because it's the Air Force. So they let her know where she filed, and she is not. She has been added to the immigrant list. So
Wow.
she is not a citizen. So
Wow.
if you know anybody like that, you might want to let them know.
Yes, and
Born on an Air Force base and rejected citizenship and just bounced back and forth between here and England. That is disgusting.
That came from a conversation that I had with
Or to use Josiah's word, diabolical.
And she said there were overdoses and we didn't have it on.
No, this is Angie Henzman, and she is just involved with voter registration. The mayor is named Angie, but I can't remember her last name. And this isn't my town, but it is my county.
So it's really important. She's always listening. I just want to say, I also do a lot with protesting.
And I don't like my mayor.
Which is the other passion of
My
mine.
kid played ball with his kid.
We are
And they're just kind of
Democratic
bougie.
activists of LaPorte County.
He's a nice guy, but
Raising money for candidates in 2026.
just a little out of touch.
There was a little sheet that said like ways that you can, the 5 calls on the back is a QR code that has all of like organizations and things that we are involved in. So we're raising money for candidates in 2026. And we are, and when I say candidates, I mean like the new folks that we really need to get pushed into working into politics. There's over 100 positions just in LaPorte County on the ballot in 26. We have to fill them. And it's going to take new individuals. And new individuals need a little help. So if you're able to, it's called the Running Start Fund. When you go into the link tree on that QR code, there will be a thing that says donate to the Running Start Fund. The other thing is we are busy protesting everything. We've been doing this since it was freezing outside. I remember we almost got frostbite the first time, and then we've been dealing with heat stroke. So we are not stopping. We do this, I don't have the paper with me, but please put this in your calendar. Every first Saturday at noon, we will be in Michigan City. Every third Saturday at noon, we will be in LaPorte. In Michigan City, we're in front of the City Hall, right there, and in LaPorte, we're in front of the courthouse. I know there's lots of opportunities, so wherever you go,
I'm gonna have to go to
make sure
those.
that you're making your voice heard. We also are going to have a very special one because there are 5 weeks this month, 5 Saturdays, and the 5th Saturday happens to be Women's Equality. So
All right.
on the 30th, we'll be in Michigan City protesting. Please follow us on Facebook or go to our link tree. We try to keep everybody up to date. There's so much going on. We have Stronger Together, which is a support group. We have one in Michigan City and one in LaPorte. We're trying. We have to stay afloat, and this is a marathon, not a sprint. So we are going to keep going, but we need everybody on board for this.
Thank you.
You notice how many women we have here? Women and then black gentlemen. And
I just want to say
Oh,
thank you to
we got a
our
couple guys in the back, too.
speakers
Cool.
tonight.
So we only got like 4 guys here.
Angie Henzman. Hopefully everybody learned a lot tonight. Remember, just what she said, it's a marathon, not a sprint. We know that we have to keep going. There's so much that we have yet to do. So you all have your agendas. There are our invisible events on those agendas. Please keep in contact with us, and thank you for coming out tonight.
Very nice to meet you. You know what I wanted to ask
Did I
her?
do my email?
Yes.
Okay.
When she was talking about how the immigrants who have to prove their citizenship have to go in front of the board, I immediately thought to myself, do they have advocates to stand with the immigrants to present their case?
That's a good question.
Like how they have victim advocates in court?
Right.
I don't know Spanish. I can read a little bit, but I think it's a good idea to have
I like your attitude.
and protect them. Yeah, I would sign up for just protecting.
I know that the League of Women Voters, that's exactly what they
Yeah,
protect.
I would volunteer for something like that, just to accompany somebody to court, or to a immigration registration or whatever. If there's something I can do to help, I'll do it. Okay, let's go. Ah, well, shoot, that rolled under. Okay. Put my things away. I got my keychains and my Harry Potter. Sorry about the view. Cleaning my stuff up. All right. As long as they don't mind that this is still on, I'll keep it on and let you the answer to the question.
No, that's okay. You've probably seen me. So yeah, email me about it and let me know when you'd like me to come over. I would love to do it. Yeah, thank you very much. And your name was? Oh, I'm sorry.
You're the woman voters?
Yes.
Okay. Hi, my name is Angie, and I had a question, and then the sergeant told me I might talk to you about it.
Okay.
When Angie was talking about how the immigrants have to go in front of a board to prove their citizenship,
Yeah.
my thought was, do they have?
I didn't know that.
What can we do advocate for that, like to accompany them? It just sounds scary.
Oh, it sounds awful.
Yeah. So I would volunteer.
Okay.
For something like
You
that.
know what? That's the first I've heard.
Okay.
I knew that there was a whole proof of citizenship going on.
Mhm.
But that's the first I heard.
That sounds
if they
terrifying.
miss the deadline.
Yeah.
They have to go before the board. And the thing about that is like, it sounds terrifying,
Mhm.
but what if it's somebody who 30 years ago, like she said, it
Yes.
could be somebody that had their temporary credentials.
And
10
who
years
who
ago.
is our board that's going to hear this? What kind of board is it?
Well, she said the election board. So who's on the election board?
Yeah.
In Porter County? I don't know. Well, I don't know who's actually on it, but
And then I'm
well,
Lepore.
Jessica is on it for sure.
I'm very new to
probably.
politics, just so you know.
Yeah.
And I usually protest Scientology in Chicago. So look, I'm mixing it up. But I mean, they got their hands in a lot of stuff anyway. So, and honestly, the message with that is just don't get caught up in group think. Don't do mind. You know,
Are
don't.
you in Porter County?
I'm in Laporte.
Oh, you're in Laporte.
Mhm.
Okay.
So
There's a league of women voters in
Laporte.
Laporte. Yeah.
I'm like I said, I'm just jumping into. Well, I mean, I've been doing the Scientology thing for about a year because they opened up in Printers Row. They opened up an old historical building.
Oh,
and
did they really?
They closed the whole street, acted like they owned it. Sergeant Dolan let them get away with everything. It was awful. And they're just it's based on a book. It's based on science fiction.
Whatever.
He said if you want to make
What's a cult?
if you want to get rich, you got to create a religion. It is definitely a cult, yeah. And this one, it doesn't even really have any direct God message. It's really self-help.
Yes,
and then they sell a lot of books and services.
But the whole idea is that they want your money.
Of course,
You know,
it's all
that's
about the
why,
money.
yeah.
And they always park next to a college. They're next to a Columbia dorm.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, God.
So yeah, if you want to. But we've been getting out there, and I'll do sidewalk chalk, and then I protested. I just go to mobilize.us and I find what.
Oh, yeah.
And then I go wherever I want to.
Right, yeah.
But I chalked in front of the town hall here one week. Came back the next week, it was still there.
Oh, really?
So if you don't have too much rain, I know I was shocked.
Surprised, too.
But yeah, it's a way to leave
you're-
messages behind. I've been protesting since it was cold too. I had a knee scooter because I had and went out in front of the Morris in South Bend. I've been to Goshen and Elkhart, Valpo.
Yeah.
So I just try to.
There's a lot of activity going on. It's just, I don't know how much good it's going to do in the end. I hope it does.
Well,
it's just
but
it's so scary.
What I think in my head is this, because it's easy to feel hopeless,
Yes,
and
very easy.
so this is what I'm doing instead of feeling hopeless.
Exactly. Right. Yeah.
And it may or may not lead to something, but
you can't. You can at least say that you tried.
and the biggest thing is, how can we know what our actions are going to do? Because I didn't know you before today, and I'm Angie,
Right.
by the way,
Yeah.
and then my actions combined with yours and everybody here, so you do not know.
No, you don't.
So you have to.
Yeah, you can't just say it's not.
The only
gonna
way
do
you
any
fail
good.
is if you don't at least get out and do it.
True.
So
Well, there is a league in LaPorte County, so
I'll have to look into that.
Yeah, go on LWVIN.
Maybe they would do some kind of advocacy type
might.
thing.
I don't know. I mean, this is a new. I don't have anything to do because this is new.
Yeah.
This type of thing.
Yeah.
So you go on the LWVIN.org site
Mhm.
and put in your city. It'll show you the information for your local chapter. So,
Yeah.
but I don't think anybody's actually doing it because I think we didn't even know we were going to be. That was even
Exactly. Well, you know
This
what?
all went into effect July 1st.
But again, we're all sitting here, and that's the question that popped up in my head. Sergeant agreed it was a good idea. I was with CASA at one point, so advocacy is something that, yeah, I just think that anytime that you have court is very intimidating, and I'm thinking, I mean, I know it's just a courtroom probably, or maybe it's just like a city hall.
It's like a city hall.
Oh, okay.
That's where they meet.
But still, it's a board of people. You don't have good English. You see how the country treats you.
Right, exactly.
And
You probably even, well, here's the thing. Probably what's going to happen is these people, when they find out they have to do that, they might just, the idea is
Yes.
that they'll just give up their right to vote rather than.
And I got to tell you that if I was them, I'd be afraid to show up, that I'd be pulled out by ICE. And
I would be afraid to show up to.
what if that's why they're doing it? Just to get them there.
Duh.
Let's filter them in.
Or to intimidate them not to vote. I mean,
Yes.
it's a two.
But then we have to be, we have to be the ones that show that it doesn't have to be intimidating. But if you imagine if we had people who could accompany them so that no bullshit could be pulled. Sorry for my language, but they may not know due to the language barrier. I should do that. I want to get more into knowing how this all happens.
So they go to the national ceremony and register new citizens to vote at the ceremony.
Yeah.
And they just had them a few weeks ago, and it was reported in the paper and by one of the members who we know that not a lot of them did not show up for the ceremony because they didn't
Oh, that's devastating. exciting. That's their ceremony. Oh.
And what I don't know, okay, they did show up the ceremony.
Did they get their certificate?
I don't know. I got it, but I don't know.
Oh.
But they were afraid they were going to be there for their whole life, so they didn't show up. And there was, I guess, a big portion. I don't have a number.
That's
They
really
did not show up.
sad.
Well, it's their goal.
Oh. Well, the thing is, though, yeah, and we can treat people decently one by one. It was nice to meet you. Okay, that's not my phone. Wait, is it? No, duh. All right, here you go. All my deets. So, it was nice to meet everybody. Thank you. I'm going to grab another water if they've got it. Do you happen to have another water? That's all right. That's all right. I think I had one in my car. Thank you. Thank you for hosting. Cool artwork out here. I like the graffiti outside as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. You just got your dandelions looking.
It's simple,
makes
but
you
it's
want to.
pretty cool.
Ooh, and the weeping willow.
Yeah, I like that. That's pretty cool.
Falling Love, it's called, by Mindy Marie.
Yeah, that's very
Oh, cool. Yes, women do get shit done. It was mostly women in there, wasn't it? Of course. You know, that's what I was thinking today. I was talking to somebody at work and I said, you know, these guys all have daddy issues. They need to realize that what they really need is a mom. So
Yeah.
a woman
Yeah.
president would have been good.
Oh,
We need
hell
mom
yes.
to come
Yeah.
in and say, listen.
Yeah. People are just stupid.
Dad's just the tyrant that you
They
threaten the kids
think
with whenever
that it has to
mom
be a
doesn't
guy.
work, but mom is the one that the kids go to.
Right. Yeah, you're right.
If we're going to force traditions, and that's how we've raised our families, you know, we're taking away the value of mom. We talk about it like it's something you're supposed to be forced to do because it's your duty, but nobody talks about anything. It's never good.
No.
It's never good.
Yeah.
And then JD Vance thinks that once we get done,
yeah.
his child care plan is, now that I've raised my kids, once they start having babies, I should just stop working and, you know,
Right.
raise more kids, which I, of course, would love, but then that's to say that no one deserves retirement except for the rich. So, yeah, that was really annoying whenever
Nobody
he's,
deserves anything but the rich. Don't you know that, Angie?
of course.
Nobody
I'm
deserves
thinking
to
Angie's
live.
a popular name around here.
Well, yeah, well.
So I will be there for everything that we talked about, so long as nothing pops up in my life. I'm excited to go to the one September 11th in Hammond. And I'll look into the League of Women Voters. So, I
yeah,
wore a
so
time
she's
turner because if I could turn back time, I would. It's from Harry Potter. Here, I'll show. I'm on YouTube live. So look at a time. So it's from the
cool.
Harry Potter. Whenever Hermione twists it,
Oh,
and she can go
okay.
back in time. I
You
wore
can
it.
go back in time.
I wish.
Yeah, Trump
How
wants to
many
go back.
spins will it take?
Trump wants to go back to the Gilded Age, so, you know.
Oh my God. Okay. So why isn't anybody talking about this? I'm a working class woman, have been my whole life, raised the kids, even got a college degree that took me 15 years for a 4-year degree, but both of us always have to work. There's no chance that I can't work. Even now that our kids are adults, our house is paid for, but the expenses of everything just to live,
Yeah.
and then trying to bank some money because, you know, my husband's
right.
older than me
Yeah.
and we're getting closer to that. It hasn't paid off. And so in their vision, all of we women won't be working. Who's going to manufacture stuff? That's half the working force, isn't it? In my factory, probably
AI is going to take over everything.
Oh, of course it is.
Yeah.
But in
AI is gonna take
at my work, it was probably the same proportion women to men. It's a lot of women
I know. Well,
that work in factories.
as long as we work, but you can work there as long as you stay there and don't earn much money and just shut up.
And as long as your kids are taken care of, and
we don't really care if your kids are taken
well, and you
care
got to
of.
have your bank account connected to your husband's, you know, so your money will just go right in there. Yeah.
They do not care.
No.
That is the problem. They don't care.
Yeah, it is pretty obvious.
And more obvious every day.
Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna. Thank you for everything. I've seen you at protesting. Yeah.
What's your name?
Angie.
Angie? Nice to meet you.
remember.
Angie, stop
There's
moving.
3 Angies that I heard tonight.
Oh,
So
yeah.
yeah, it's like that's a popular name here.
Orange vest person at the with the guy that left when we
Yes,
marched
Scott.
down to the beach for the
And I'm the chalk artist.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
Can you send me some of those?
And I'm the handmaid.
Did you record it? or-
Yes, I'm on YouTube Live.
Wonderful.
I can tell you the channel if you want to write it down. I record everything I go to.
Are you
I
on
want
Facebook?
I do have Facebook, but I never do anything on it.
How many viewers do you have?
Right now, only 6. I'm not that popular.
Okay, then I'm...
Yeah. And we're basically a bunch of women about my age. It seems like my group that's in
Yeah,
here
that
tonight.
works, that
Women are
works.
fighting hard.
We are.
It's a protest community.
I love your necklace. I think my sister
Yes.
has one just like it.
I brought my time turner because if I could turn it back, I would.
Me too.
Yes.
I turn it back
And then I've got my
nobody's ordering for it.
resistance shirt on,
It's
you
a
know.
good- it's a nice shirt.
Yes. I order stuff. Yeah, you got to have your message out there. And then a friend in DC who has she makes her own
Sticker is
stickers.
falling off.
Oh yeah, I got to figure out a way to get them on there, but
Yeah. Stickers and hats don't go well.
no.
Can you take a picture of that? Or?
Yes.
Unless it's like right here on the
You want to take a picture of of the
No, so you can text me.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
Oh, here. You don't mind if your phone number's on there? It's only a few
It's only 6
people, but yeah. That way I can go back and get it.
You're gonna get
Here, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to end the live right now. That way I can take a picture of it. I'll see you guys whenever I get to the lake.
wonderful.